Hi there, I'm Simon and welcome back to PhotoBite Kids. So, taking us up to the halfway point in our series of photographic challenges for kids aged between 5 and 15 years old is a fantastic photo challenge that's all about food. So, this is going to be a lot of fun. You've got to think about photographing food and making it look really special, like the pictures you see in cookery books and on TV that make the food look so lovely that you just want to eat it. And there's not much more to say about this really, other than to get stuck in and enjoy the food, of course, after you've photographed it. And here, as usual, with some tips and tricks on how to approach this photo challenge is our resident photo expert, Professor Gardner.
Thanks, Simon. So yeah, we're going to be looking at food today, and I'm going to talk you through the steps of how to make food look good, because it's one thing just putting food down on a table, then taking a picture, and then, you know, happy days. I'm going to take you through the steps. I'm going to go with something very, very simple. We're going to go with a coffee or a latte, and it's going to be in this glass, which is a very nice glass, and I'm just using sugar just as like a side sort of thing. We're going to try and figure out how we can photograph this to make it look really, really good. Now, what I got to do first, I've got to make a coffee. Before actually completely doing the coffee, I realized I have a cheese board. So I'm trying to think of how I can make this look good. And I've got a few things set up, but something like this, you could just use tin foil. You haven't got to use one of these. You can just get like a chopping board or a piece of card and then just wrap some tin foil around it, and you've got yourself a lovely reflector. For the back, you can use cardboard, but I've just got some grey background plastic, PVC, and then I've got a cheese board. So these are things you can find around the home. They're not photography specific, except for this, but as I said, you can make one at home, and we're going to see what we can try and do to make a coffee look good. Right, so before I switch cameras, which I'm going to have to do because I was having a look on my phone and I've decided I want to go for a more tighter shot, which is what this lens can offer, my phone cannot. But do try and work within your parameters of the camera that you have. I'm just seeing what's available to me so I can show you what you can get when you're using a DSLR or mirrorless camera. So I've got my coffee set up. This is all how it looks. I'm going to show you what happens when you froth it up, and the shot I'm going to get is me pouring the milk into the mug or glass, the glass mug, and we're going to see what kind of shots we can get just doing that alone. Right, we're on continuous low on the camera. I've got it set up just in basic mode, so we're just going to go ahead and just do the pour as I take the picture. So we've imported our photos into Lightroom because I'm not super happy with how they've come out in the camera. So I'm going to go into the settings of Lightroom. I'm going to play around with them and show you what you can do to transform your photos just by simply clicking a few buttons. So we're going to go, and I'm going to just select one, and we're just going to go through and just see which ones we liked. So just seeing if I like that one. There we go, that looks quite nice. So just very simple ways you can actually change is you can just go into develop, and you can play with your exposure. You can see how you can make it brighter and darker. I'm going to make it a bit brighter. We've got contrast, we're going to adjust the contrast, and then we're going to go down to highlights and just see what happens when we play with those. Shadows, going to drag that down a bit. Whites, let's see, probably darken it a bit. Blacks, darken those a bit. Let's see, texture. Bump the texture up a little bit. Clarity, don't want to play with too much clarity, otherwise it doesn't look very real. Now you can go into vibrance and you can tweak vibrance, but because it's a coffee, there's not that much color to it. If anything, you'll be bringing out orange, which isn't really a coffee color. Brown, black, that's more of a coffee color. Now we're going to move over to the edit, the crop, sorry. So with the crop, currently it is a landscape crop, so we're getting lots of things in the background that we don't want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust it so that we're doing a portrait shot. And we're going to drag that over, and we're going to hit enter. And that is my edit. So we've turned this, which is looking rather dull right now, into that, which looks much nicer, much more pleasant, just by tweaking some very basic controls that even you could do on your mobile phone. And that was done in what, 2 minutes? Easy peasy. And you can do these very settings that I did on your phone or on a tablet. You don't need to use the software that I'm using. You can do it very, very easily. And you can get some very impressive results. So do give it a try. Get those food shots in. Also play around with an edit. We're not going to judge you if you use an edit. It's perfectly fine. That's all part of the photography way. And as I said, don't forget to submit. But remember, my name's Luke. This is PhotoBite, and we'll see you next time.